serious endeavor. I'm not sure if this free beer party is a good idea. I really question that, and for next year, shall we do that again? I'm not sure. Seriously, I'm asking this question. Anyway, my talk is not about that. It's the exact opposite. It's about empowering users. I'm here because of Dylan, because he noticed yesterday that not everybody was at my talk, and he said it was not acceptable. So I'm going to show you a few stuff about Rapido. So it's about empowering user. In Plone 5, we do have a very powerful seeding tool. That's nice, that's excellent, that's something good. But users, they need more. They want to be able to create their own dynamic piece of content. They want to implement specific actions like sending an email if something happens, or triggering a modification in somewhere when you are having another event coming from another place. And well, the user I'm talking about, they can do HTML, they can do Python, but they don't know how to create Plone stuff like viewlets, browser view, or trigger a process after an event. This kind of stuff is really too difficult for them. They're just kind of webmasters. They are able to develop, but they don't know this. This is all stuff. They don't own that, okay? So that's why Rapido is here. Rapido, it extends the theming editor, okay? So through the theming editor, you're going to be able to design your website, of course, but also to add new stuff into Plone without knowing Plone at all, okay? Just HTML and Python. That's how it goes. You go to your theming editor and you add a new folder named Rapido, and then you can add as many folders you want. They're going to be your Rapido applications. You just do that through the web interface, or it can be done also in the source, because the theming system works both on source and on the interface. So you just add HTML, Python, and also YAML for configuration. That's really simple. You will have this kind of stuff, for instance. You just make your HTML, and you have, this will be dynamically computed stuff that way, and you just need to implement stuff somewhere like that, okay? Just a function, a Python function, and you return whatever you want. And it's going to be displayed, it's going to work, okay? It's inserted into any page into Plone using Diazo. So Diazo is part of the theming interface, so that's easy, of course. You use a directive like this, which is include, which allows to target any resource. In my case, it's a tile, and it's going to be included into the Diazo, into the theme at the end. Or it can be done with Mosaic if you don't want to use Diazo for that. If you want to provide your content editor with piece of content which are dynamic and specific, you can use it through Mosaic as well. And when you are programming your Python stuff, you can use the Plone API. So here is a simple example where you look up for documents, collect them, and then you can, let's say, list the value, produce an output containing information about those documents. It does include a ready-to-use JSON backend, okay, with all the regular REST API verbs like get, post, delete, put, patch, etc. So you can use also Rapido as a backend for a small JavaScript application you're building with Angular or Backbone or whatever. It's going to be really easy to set up. You don't need to create a specific content type for that. You don't need Plone API, Plone RESTful API. You don't need this kind of stuff. You just set up your application through the theming editor and it's done. And it does work with the content rules mechanism, so you can hook any action you are coding with Rapido to any Plone event. So for instance, every time something is modified, every time something is added to such a folder or whatever, you can then launch your own script with this. So let's have a short look to what it is. Here, for instance, I have my theme, I have a form, I can have some JS if I want, I will have some short description of how it works, how it is indexed, the data is indexed, and so on. And at the end, what you get is stuff like this. Here, for instance, I have inserted something which is dynamic on top of my content. My real content is here. It's a folder with 2 documents, and I'm using those documents to produce this dynamic rendering using a mockup pattern, but it's not meant to be necessarily used with mockup, but it does work with it, of course. So here I get the title plus the description. into this small piece of content, plus I have an image. It's really easy to do. That's something anybody who knows about HTML can do, okay? Another example here, where, no, sorry. Here I'm using the JSON API backend, and I'm displaying quotation from stock exchange using a D3, a small D3 script. So all the data you're seeing right now have been imported using pure JSON API. So with wget or curl, you can push your data and render it, do whatever you want. It does work that way very easily. And yes, as I mentioned, it is compliant with Mosaic. So you have here Rapido element type, which allow you to target any Rapido content you might have been done and put it wherever you want without using data if you don't want to. That's it.